The House of Representatives has indicted 31 ministries, departments and agencies in the aftermath of the adoption of the report of its Public Accounts Committee on the 2019-2020 Auditor General's reports. The committee uncovered financial irregularities amounting to more than 103.8 billion naira and $950,000. The lawmakers directed the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission to recover the misappropriated funds and remit to the Federal Treasury. Chairman of the committee, Bamdele Salam, presented the report for consideration. Among the institutions cited in the 2019 recommendations are the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Bank of Agriculture, the Nigeria Correctional Service, among others. The Nigeria Export Processing Zones Authority was directed to retrieve 8 official vehicles and ensure the return of 4 operational vehicles unlawfully retained by the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment.
The speed with which you have done this job is also commendable, and the effort and the time you have put in there, it's a lot of job done. I will put a question. Those in support that this document be considered today, say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it.
Let's bring in Chairman Public Accounts Committee, House of Representatives, Honorable Bamdele Salam, on the news this hour. Honorable Salam, thanks for joining us on the news. Over 103 billion naira and nearly $1 million unaccounted for. How did this money go missing under the radar?
Well, thank you very much and thank you for having me. To put it in the proper context, the discovery of these various infractions, as well as outright violation of financial laws and regulations, were made by the Auditor General for the Federation. And you know that by virtue of the Nigerian Constitution, that office is mandated by the Constitution to submit reports to the National Assembly. And the only committee of the National Assembly that considers the report of the Auditor General for the Federation is the Public Account Committee. So we did a review of the Auditor General's report for the years 2019 and 2020, and discovered that almost 80% of the issues uncovered by the Auditor General for the Federation were actually fact-based. And then we gave the various ministries, departments, and agencies opportunities to come and defend themselves, present records, as well as oral testimony to defend all those expenditure, after which the committee found indeed against 31 ministries, departments, and agencies clear cases of violation of laws, of regulations, and policies governing, management of our finances, and breach of the Constitution and statutes of government. An example, part of the intro that you read, is the one that has to do with the Bank of Agri. The Bank of Agri gave out a loan of over 75 billion naira and never made any concrete efforts to get those loans repaid back by the borrowers. We have it on good authority that most of the loans were taken by people that diverted the money to other use. You have cases in some other ministries where you have outright violation of approval threshold, where a head of an agency has a specific threshold of approval and goes beyond that. We have several instances of payment in 2019 and 2020, a payment without supporting document, without vouchers, in most cases also without the necessary approvals. We also have so many cases of contract awarded without execution in some of these agencies. We have an example of lack of recovery of government assets, financial assets, monies. For example, over $69 million that's been owned by a Benin Republic-based firm to the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading Company that has not been diligently recovered. We have cases of vehicles, government vehicles, being taken away by officials of government or some officials of government in some MDAs approving all manner of humongous salaries and allowances to themselves without necessary approvals by the Salaries and Wages Commission. These are some of the issues that the 31 ministries, departments, and agencies were found.
It seems that there's a long list, Honorable. If you allow me jumping in.
Yes, please.
Yes, because some of the indicted agencies like Foreign Affairs and the Correctional Service are major institutions. Was this outright fraud, negligence, or just weak oversight? What do you think has been fingered here?
All right, the issue that has to do with the Foreign Affairs, for example, is an approval that had to do with the construction of the building construction in one of the embassies, Nigerian embassy in Ethiopia, where monies were paid for the award of contract, and the contract never took off, and the money was not recovered. We have another example in Equatorial Guinea of virtually the same thing happening, where monies were paid for some contracts which were not executed and not recovered. Now, whether this is a case of negligence, like you said, or a case of outright fraud, is what we are asking the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the ICPC to investigate and establish, and then make those who were responsible. The fact is that Nigeria has lost some funds, and these are public funds which we have an obligation by law to protect and to account for.
Honorable, you have directed the FCC and ICPC to recover these funds, but Nigerians have heard this before. How do we know this won't end like other reports that have gathered dust?
All right, so, we are operating a constitutional democracy, and each of the arms of government has its own delimited powers and responsibilities. Ours, we're a lawmaking body. We have the power of making laws. We have the power of oversight. Now we have done that which we should do. And the buck now will move on to that executive arm of government, especially the agencies of government that by law we have set up to prosecute. The National Assembly does not have prosecutorial power. We don't prosecute. Yes, the Public Account Committee has quasi-judicial functions, but we have discharged our responsibilities. In some other jurisdiction, I must inform you that there is something we call the Public Account Tribunal in some other countries, where matters like this go to after consideration by the Parliament, and then the tribunal takes on the matter from there. But in Nigeria, we don't have that. So we should send those issues back to the executive arm of government for implementation, and this is exactly what we have done. So whether the matters get prosecuted or not is no longer a burden on the National Assembly, but a burden on those agencies to which we have sent the report of this constitutional committee.
Chairman, Public Accounts Committee, House of Representatives, Wamdele Salam, thank you for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.